Hey, this is Dan from CarmenAuto.com. Today I have a cluster from Chrysler Sebring, I believe 2003. The backlighting does not work. Very common problem on these Chrysler 300. If you're driving at night, these guys right here don't light up blue. Also, the same problem exists on Chrysler Town & Country and Chrysler C300. So if you got one of these and it's from year 1997 till 2004, then this repair video is for you. Now if you have a 2005 and newer, this repair will not help you. Watch my other video, I'll be posting it shortly about 2005 and newer Chrysler repair video, cluster repair video. Alright, to save time, I'll show you the tools we need. We'll need double tape, wire cutter. You may use the razor blade if you don't have a wire cutter. Torx, T8 and T10 Torx. If you don't know what the Torx are, it's just pretty much kind of like a 6 pointing star, 6 edges. Or you can use a Torx T8, T10 on a screwdriver. I'll be using mine on a electrical drill, electrical tape. I'll have also a wire stripper, and I'll be using a little pick tool to kind of pick out my connectors for the connectors that are connecting the inverter to the motherboard. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, the tools, we are gonna be using an inverter. This is the part. Now, the one we sell on our website, the CarmenAuto.com website, it already comes with a plug. So one plug will be connecting to the motherboard, and this will be connected to the backlighting panel. Doesn't really matter which end will go. Now, if you see, there's a similar item you can probably buy on internet, but it will not light up your backlighting. Not enough power. So this guy right here will not work, and also the size is a little different, so this fit is the best fit we found so far. Alright, here is our cluster. I will be using T10 to remove my screws around. I'll put it on my screwdriver. Now before I remove my screws on the back end, here's the connector number 1, and here's the connector number 2. We will be disconnecting these both. We're not going to remove anything over here. We're not going to remove the cover or the panel, a PCB board, nothing like that. We're going to do all through the front. Now push this up, kind of set it, that way it can slide through that hole. Same goes through to here. I'm going to use my pick tool, remove one end of a clip, another end of a clip, and slowly pry this thing up. So once you pry it up, also make it kind of straight, that way it can just slide through that hole. Now that we got those disconnected, we're going to remove one. So we got 1 over here, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 screws. Already got most of mine off. I'll be using the T10 to remove the screw. You can go ahead and remove the rest of them, and then what you're gonna do is remove this glass with the bracket out of the way. With your hand you can actually pull on the backlighting panel, do both sides, maybe the middle, and try to remove it evenly. So we'll just go through all. Okay, once we kind of have it removed, slide it out and make sure these wires right here that you removed before, the plugs, they come out together. So now that we have this thing disconnected from the board, move the board aside, We don't need it for now, but we will need our glass with the bracket. Why? Because you don't want to set this on the table and it might break the needles and stuff like that. So what I'm gonna do, put it back in here. That way it's holding everything good in place. Alright, now that we set everything up, removed everything, you're gonna do is these two yellow wires, the plug is already unplugged, these two yellow wires, you're gonna cut it well closer to the inverter, you know. So cut that here and then get your T8 Torx. Here's one screw, I already removed that to speed up the process. Here's the other screw. So remove the T8s and then pop this guy out. This is the guy that is causing all your problems. So as you can see, this guy has screws to hold it in place. Ours doesn't have the screws to hold it in place. That's why we got the double tape. Alright, remove that. Now what we're gonna do is our inverter. We are just gonna twist these wires together and then clean up these wires. That's why we're using these. So if you need, you can just clean it up about an inch, 3/4 of an inch. And once I put it on here, I'll do one at a time. I will connect it, twist the wires, that way they're holding in there pretty good. Normally we would solder this in and then tape it up, but we're not gonna solder it in to speed up the process. Also, if somebody doesn't really have a solder, it's not very necessary in here. I will connect, get my electrical tape and a wire, first end of the wire, that way it's not shorting out to the other side or anywhere else in the board. I will do the same thing to the other side. That way it's holding in there pretty good, not shorting out. Now that I got them both connected, make sure to check that there's no wire hanging out in there that might cause a short. Everything looks good. Alright, now that we got our inverter connected to the backlighting board, I will cut about an inch of a double tape. So I cut an inch of a double tape, put it right in the middle of it here to hold it in there, and I will place my inverter on there. Make sure this side, the one that goes to the backlight, is to the right. That way you're not twisting wires one on top of another. Set it in there. It's already holding in place. The wires in here pretty good and strong. These screws, you don't need them anymore. You got the double tape for that. Now this is the wire you're gonna be feeding through that PCB board, and this is the other wire you'll be feeding to the PCB board. Now that we got that, we are getting our PCB board. I'll flip it in there and get this guy right here and feed it through here. So I fed that there, and then the other one, the red connector, also feed it through there. Once you're done doing that, line these screws up, the ones that you were removing, line them perfectly on, and then just push them in there pretty good. Once you do that, it's all good, nice and sturdy. You can get your glass with the bracket, use your T10 and put the rest of the bolts on. So it's 6 bolts. Put 1, 2, 3, boom, boom, here, here, here. Put that on. Now that you're done with all that in the front and the back, set this, connect this guy right here. So you can connect, there's one little edge that's more kind of like sticking out right here at the bottom. You can connect that, that way it holds this in place. It doesn't really matter if you do it either way. Now that this thing is right here, you can just put it in there, hide it in there. The reason why I'm making it long, that way it's easier for you to feed it through. And we'll do the same thing on here. Align this plug in here and plug it in. So this is plugged in, this is plugged in. Now let me connect it and test it. You on the other hand, you can connect it and test it on your car, doesn't really matter. Alright, now that I got my power supply to my unit, I can test it out, bench test it. You can plug it in and you're done. Let's give it some power supply and see how it lights up. So there you have it. It is lighting up, greenish blue tint kind of deal. So working good, everything lights up, everything's working good. So this is how you repair a Chrysler 300 cluster. Now Town and Country and C300, almost similar process, maybe a little slight different, but that's how you get the inverter in it, connect it, and get the job done if you want your lighting to work. We offer the inverter, the part, on our website at carmenauto.com. You can buy that. You can also buy it, we will actually be selling it soon on Amazon Prime. If you want it next day, that is the best option, because we also offer service, but shipping this cluster is about $25–40, depends from where it's coming from. So it's like $25–40 one way, $25–40 another, and it's going to be about a week process for you. So if you want to save time and money, you can go Prime or get the part and do it yourself. Otherwise, thanks for watching.